What up, what up, what up? And you know how we do when we do a live event, we got to start with some music. Let's do it. Y'all already know. Put the LUs in the chat if you're ready.
Talking to my mirror like I love you so much.
Woo!
Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head.
Let go.
Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a that's what they don't understand. I'm back again like flu season, I broke records.
Put the LUs in the chat if you ready.
On my roof, leaving, don't give a I don't care. Did the by my lonesome, no wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run, all I really want is my share. Get him, I got him, I told him it's nothing. In a discussion, for them feelings, I throw all my pain on percussion. It's disgusting, I hear them breaking about that they did, and it do not move me, not in the least. They ain't been dropping no seeds in the soil, but swear that you on my spot at the feast. I've been on go mode, showboat, rowboat, wave ride. Cool shorty, too naughty, pool party, wet for the face ride. Annie up, penny down, hand me down, thrift store, old drip. New money, too funny, old shorty, talk about, I'm on they now, can't get a pass now, I'm a cash cow, keeping it brash now. It's trash now, I'm a spaz out. I've been killing my lows and living on highs. You see in the skies the proof. You could just see in my eyes that there is no lies. I cannot disguise the truth. I've been duck dog getting to my new merch color.
All right, look, you know we can't keep it going too long. We got to keep this thing rolling. Hey, appreciate y'all checking in to this live event right now. We're calling it Tech Yourself. We're really going to show you how to arm yourself for a career and role in cloud or cybersecurity. And I got a special guest, a big dog that's been doing big things on the social media. If you are trying to get into cybersecurity, if you looked at any tech podcast, you've seen the gentleman pop up everywhere on your feed, from TikTok to Instagram to LinkedIn. And it's a good friend of mine. And I want to bring him to the stage. I want y'all right now, listen, put the HDs in the chat right now and give it up for my boy, Henri Davis. What's up, big dog? How you doing, man?
Yo, what's going on, Broadus?
Hey, man, everything's good, man. We're here to drop some gems. We're here to get the people the game that they want, what they're looking for. And, you know, just overall, we want to help y'all really get the game that you need to make the best decisions that you can to get a role or at least start the learning procedures and strategies of landing a role in cloud and cybersecurity. So I want to make sure, let me check my Instagram, because Instagram doesn't allow comments to pull in here on the platform we're using. So I want to make sure we seeing comments of people and I asking questions there. Okay, cool. Yep, so we got people already asking questions already. So we're going to get to you. And we're going to get started right now. We're going to talk about really the expansion of the industry. And right now, the hot words that's going on in the industry, the hot keywords is AI, cloud, and security, cybersecurity. And believe it or not, even with the industry being a little shaky-ish for, let's say, the past 8 months, 9 months, there's expected growth to happen, especially in cloud, where there's some numbers that show from now to 2027 and 2028, it's supposed to be an expectation of a boom of 300,000 plus cloud roles to be open every year, more every year. And as we approach the new age of AI, we're going to approach more companies really honing in on cybersecurity and security threats that are happening. Can you talk a little bit more, Henri, about what you're seeing from that aspect as far as growth and industry trends?
Yeah, I see like everybody is kind of scared of AI, but once you kind of understand it and try to see what well right now is current limitations and what you can use it for, I think you should embrace it. And there's also I actually just did an episode with a guy who's using AI in the security business to help people come up and stop threats and do insider risks and all those different things that you need to do in security operations and incident response. And one of the things he brought up is, hey, people are going to also have to audit what the data that's coming into the AI. So where is it getting this data from? Is it being poisoned? Is it the data integrity? So that stuff in that CIA triad,
Mhm.
confidentiality, integrity, and authentication. So they're going to be checking those things out. So that's going to be like a whole nother subset of jobs that people can do that will be heavily AI focused. And then it's going to trickle down into everything. It's going to make some jobs be more efficient and it's probably going to force some people to learn how to do some different things. But I do think that it can be a beneficial, especially if you're a company that may not have the resources to hire a lot of people. It can help offset some of those things. So I see it being beneficial. I see there also being some threats that are there that AI will, make for us, but there'll also be some contingencies built on that as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think as companies are just trying to still understand it, right? Understand how they're going to use it. And once they started using it, really just learning from the threats itself. And once that start happening, I believe there's going to be some new roles that's going to be um, strategically born from this type of things that are happening. And even on a cloud engineering standpoint, where a lot of people, oh man, AI is going to automate me out of job. What we should really just be focusing on is accelerating our learning with AI, right? And accelerating how we ingest information. And for instance, let's look at just Chat GPT, for instance, where everybody they know about ChatGPT, but some people haven't used it. You can literally use ChatGPT to break down really technical stuff to you as a 5-year-old, right? So you can go and if you read documentation from a cloud service and you're still not really understanding, like, I kind of get it, but I'm still not really understanding what they're talking about here. You can literally tell ChatGPT, hey, uh, feed this to me as I'm a 15-year-old and help me break it down and understand it. And that way you can adjust it and digest it, and it can really accelerate your learning and how you can even transcend those conversations to non-technical people as well. So if you're in consulting roles, your customer facing roles, it can help you learn so you can teach your customers more about what you're doing from a non-technical standpoint, because they won't understand the technicality of your services that you're using. But I do believe over the next year and next 2 years, we're going to see new roles pop up from companies using AI engineers, and different things they may need. And it's important for you to, if you haven't taken the time to really dive into some AI services on, cloud service providers, it's important for you to just understand some aspects of it, how it's being used, and what companies are looking to strategize in using it in the next year. So that's
Yep.
my sense on it. So let's we've talked about where it's going, right? And people already have questions now. I see questions coming in. What are some of the essential skills and certifications that someone can get really if they want to start their journey in cybersecurity? What would you say?
Yeah, good question. I'm actually working on a video about that. It's probably more geared to blue team, but essentially what I've been seeing just based on like entry level, mid level roles, of course, the certification you're gonna see a lot of times is security plus. That's one I typically tell people get security plus and then maybe like a entry level cloud certification. So you kind of just understand the cloud, all the different services it has, and some of the things you can do, as well as having some sort of foundation with the Sec Plus. But then the tricky part about saying skills for cybersecurity could be difficult because of how vast it is. And like we were just talking about different niches that we can even go to now, like the AI stuff, or even
Mhm.
if you're trying to cloud security, the skills that you learn to be somewhat different, but typically I've seen a lot of scripting, so Python,
Mm,
Bash, knowing different things about operating systems from Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Unix, knowing something about like a SQL, knowing a little bit of networking knowledge, knowing something a little bit about databases, knowing about different log sources, understanding like different frameworks, different compliance type of things. And honestly, some of the underrated skills are, public speaking, collaboration skills, how well you write, especially like most people come to me sometimes like, oh, I want to be a pen tester, and not understanding, hey, well, one of those most important things you're going to be doing in that pen test is writing up that report and making that
right.
report look good, and what they know, what did you find in that, and even if like doing something like an incident response, when you have those summaries and those reports that are, or those updates going out there, those things have to be good, have to be informative, but they also have to be concise enough to where no one's like scratching their head like what's going on. So those are like some skills that I've seen people can take from other disciplines as well. And even if you get on to like a blue team or a red team type of function, somebody from, I've seen people come from like sociology and psychology backgrounds and just using that type of skill set to understand an attacker, and what they may do to break into an environment. Or a lot of times I make a lot of analogies with somebody breaking into your actual house, because that's how I kind of would just view a network. The network, you don't want people to get in there, you want people to get in your house. And there are different tactics people use to get into your house, different tactics that you may see somebody do on a network. So kind of just researching some of those things and what they may do, and then that's kind of how you can start kind of the word is I forgot, but it's kind of like the thing you do instead of focusing on like the stuff in the beginning. You go look at somebody at the end who has everything you need. Reverse
Reverse
engineering, there you
engineer.
go. Reverse engineering, like your job search or whatever. That's how you can kind of figure out more skills versus trying to start. Oh, okay, I want to get this cert or this or that. It's like, well, kind of look up some type of roles you may want to do. Go find those people that do that, see what skills they have, and you can reverse engineer your path to eventually get to that role.
Absolutely, man. I mean, this is for all tech roles, right? Not just cybersecurity, because I would say the same thing for cloud, where I think cloud is more, people come in that's more search focused, and it's cool to have the fundamentals and the foundations, but I think they're looking for the search to be be all, where they say, okay, I'm gonna get, you know AWS is for people starting, it's more, has more notoriety, and
You're right.
because people think it's, oh, it's the number one cloud service provider, this is what I have to learn. But number one, I would just say, just pick one that, from your research, if you're looking at roles that you like, what are they asking you to learn, right? Because some companies may not ask you to learn AWS. They may say, we want you to learn Microsoft Azure or your GCP or even Oracle, or hey, we use Dell, IBM products, Apex, all of that good stuff. So, look at what the companies are asking you to have. And then from there, just focus on, if you want to be a cloud developer, or if you want to be a cloud engineer or DevOps engineer, site reliability engineer, what are the skills it's asking for you to have? And what I would say, I'll say these two things as far as certs. I would just get a foundational cert. If you're doing AWS, just go ahead and do the CCP. If you're doing Microsoft, you could do the 900, and digital cloud leader for GCP. And then I will focus on the core cert that can help me understand my job better, right? So
Yeah.
most people say, okay, well, if I'm in AWS, I'm gonna go from the certified cloud practitioner to the solutions
What is
architect
it?
automatically, right? But what if you're not really doing that job? What if you want to go more into developing a DevOps or site reliability? You want to learn how to use those tools. So I would say, if even if you're passing these certs, a developer cert or a solutions architect cert, or security cert in cloud, does not make you a security engineer. It does not make you a developer. It does not make you an architect. What it does is shows you the tools and services that cloud service provider allows people to use to be able to design solutions as an architect, or develop as a developer, or to run operations as a site reliability engineer, et cetera, right? To make sure everything's managed and monitored and make sure it doesn't go down. So if you're looking at a role, look at the core skills that it's asking you to have, and then build your fundamentals around learning those core skills. So first, I would say, definitely dive into some server admin work, right? You don't have to be an expert in Linux. You don't have to be a Windows expert, but what you just have to do is understand the um, basic what's the word I'm looking for, practices when you're working inside a server, when you're working inside EC2, whether it's Windows or Linux. How do you move around? How do we create directories, right? How do we troubleshoot and kill processes that are, taking up too much memory, too much disk space, etc. And once again, I would say this: you don't have to be an expert before you learn something else. So you don't have to conquer all of this thing like Linux or Windows admin before you go and try to learn more about containers. It will always be things you don't know, and you will always feel uncomfortable moving towards those new things because you feel like I don't have a strong grasp on Linux. It's totally fine, right? The experience comes from exposure. And the more you expose yourself over time, and then the more you expose yourself on the job, that's where it comes from. Everybody in a company that's working, I mean, every day we go to, especially if we working as a true engineer, every day we go in and we don't know what we're going to face. So the whole thing is just about, we may not know everything, but we know how to find an answer and just apply it and see if it works.
Yeah.
So from that, cloud foundational cert, which is a fundamental cert, right? And then a core cert that can help you understand your job even better. Once you get into a role, then you can go for the professionals and the specialties, etc. And some people do that now, which is cool. I'm not knocking on any, hey, but I wouldn't cert chase. I would learn how to gain those practical skills. And for a cloud engineering role, it's Linux, understanding a little bit of networking, understanding how containers work, understanding scripting using Python, and automation. So our job, should be, if we're doing manual things every day, how can we automate those manual things that we do so we can focus on the critical tasks of our job? And some of the soft skills as far as understanding how to communicate and work in collaboration. One of the things Henry said that goes across all boards of tech is documentation. So you may get into a company that doesn't have any type of documentation. So if you're a person that's working on projects, you're doing some labs and you're documenting your steps and your processes and your failures and how you got through those roadblocks, you'll be able to now become a good person that can, you know, uh, really create great documentation for someone that comes behind you. And believe it or not, that's a skill in itself. And some companies may say, hey, we know you come here to be a cloud engineer, but we really need somebody on documentation too. So can you make that be the main focus of your job? And that'll be something that you can take yourself to the next level with as well. So yeah. All right, let's see. So we talked about essential skills and certifications, learning pathways and resources. Now, what are some of the resources that you tell some of your followers to use when they're trying to learn more about cybersecurity and get into a job?
Yeah, good question. So for a lot of people now, I actually just did this in a consult. Depending on where they want to go, a lot of times I tell them to start with the Coursera Google cybersecurity course.
Mm,
It's cheap and it's like 8 domains, very detailed and thorough. And it can really introduce them to what they may want to pick up in cybersecurity. Because the big thing is people say, "Oh, I want to get in cybersecurity," but I say, "Okay, but what you want to do?" And a lot of times people don't know that. So if you can get something like that that kind of introduces you to the different domains, they say, "You know what? I really enjoyed this blue team domain where I was defending, I was using the SAML and all this stuff. What else do I need to do to be a SOC analyst or working incident response or working forensics?" And then that's how you start that journey of looking at those job descriptions of different skills you want to need. And so, like in the instance like that, I typically tell people, okay, cool, you can try, like a lot of people do like to try Hack Me's. We got the Level Careers course out there by Josh Madakor. We have TCM Security has like so many courses. I often recommend their malware analysis course because it's pretty dope. You have also like Hack the Box, and then there are other platforms out there that you can do stuff. I think Let's Defend and Range Force, and there may be some other ones I'm missing, but it's kind of like some of the main ones. And so you can do that. But then what I tell people is like, okay, we learned all these skills. Now, what are you going to do with these skills that you attain to set you apart from everybody else
Mhm.
that's interviewing? Because what happens is everybody, I look at their resume, we're doing a consult. Oh, I've been doing, hack the box. I've been doing try hack me, but okay, what next? And so that's when I come in and say, okay, cool. Well, if you want to do this, let's make an actual home lab and let's try to replicate some of these things that we're seeing in these actual security events, these breaches. Let's start trying to build some stuff out. Let's work on building out some detection, some threat intel sources. Let's do some of that stuff. Let's work on some automation, some sort of different things, or let's work on making like tickets from the sim and all those different things. And they don't have to be perfect, but if you're a hiring manager and you have an entry level guy there and they're telling you, hey, I got this home lab. I use Microsoft Sentinel to set me up a SIM. I put these logs in there. I created these detections. I did this and that. I saw this latest attack where they had this breach where like they did like MFA fatigue in there. So I put MFA logs in there and saw the denials, and I wrote up like a different type of query to say if you don't have 3 different type of failures, it's like this person's account out. Now, granted, you're not going to notice because you're entry level, but like if you get with a person like me, those are some of the things we kind of work on and talk about, so you can just stand out. Like regardless if you're doing good in the lab or not, the fact that you're doing it on your own is a plus because you'll realize when you get in corporate, a lot of people are just showing up for a check, which nothing is wrong with that, but they do start plateauing. Whereas when you're young and hungry, you're gonna be out there trying to get it, and you're probably gonna make a lot of people at work look bad just because you're so ambitious.
No, that's golden information. Hey, matter of fact, if y'all think these are gems that he's dropping, put the gems in the chat right now, okay? Because this man dropping some gems for y'all to pick up, especially you looking to go into cybersecurity and really figure out your way and how you can learn the skills. Now, for cloud, um, every cloud service provider has their own typical training that you can start
Mhm.
with for free already. So you got AWS that has their learning
Cloud
platform.
Quest, right?
What do you say?
AWS stuff is Cloud Quest, right?
Yeah, yep. And you can focus on just really understanding what cloud is, how it works, to more fundamental things about, infrastructure as a service, software as a service, function as a service, all these different terms, what it means. But you can dive deep into just creating the basic core services that pretty much are ran across every platform within AWS. But also you have, Google and Microsoft Learn that you can focus on learning that cloud platform. So I would dive into Microsoft Learn or Google digital training right there, or even AWS, just to get your feet wet and understand if you really like this. Right? Do I really like working with AWS, or do I like working with Microsoft platform even more? It doesn't matter. Don't have anxiety over or a panic attack over, oh my God, I'm having a hard choice of picking one. Just pick whichever one that you like and it's easier to understand, right? Because the jobs are calling for all, so it doesn't even matter. And then you can ramp up with more hands-on labs and going into more of the core certifications. You got John Bonzo, that's a great one for learning more cloud skills. You got Jason Dion for more Linux skills. You got man, so many people that's on the list for Terraform. um, uh, my boy Derek Morgan. We got a great Terraform course. So it's all about really taking baby steps to build out some really simple infrastructure. Like, hey, let me deploy my first server. All right. So now you deploy your first server. So now you start thinking about, okay, how can I really change permissions and grant permissions to access my server in certain ways? Or who can I deny? If I don't want people to access my server, how can I, create policies to deny that access? Then you can start thinking like, how can I get my server to really connect with other services in AWS? So like, if I want my server to be able to access some files in S3, how can I do that? Now, if I have, you know, traffic, a lot of traffic, how can I, create a server and create a strategy where my servers are now duplicating depending on my traffic. So if I have one server, how can I scale out to be able to have 2 or 3 or 4 servers running because my traffic's getting high? Then how can I have them scale back in when I don't need them anymore? Now I thought about that. How can I have a load balancer that directs traffic to those servers evenly, and I can just control the traffic through the IP of my load balancer. Now we're looking at network things, and what if I want somebody to access an SSH into my server, or what if I just only want secure traffic over the internet to access my server? These things I'm telling you right now, you might say, I don't know what the hell you talking about. But these are things that you can write down and go research right now. And the best thing for you to do is when you're trying to showcase your skills. I see a lot of people now, documentation is very important. But a lot of people are doing documentation for their projects now, and everybody's one, two, three in it. And for me, I know it didn't go that way, right? So what we want to do is show the real process that it took you to get that solution. So if you found some errors, if you ran across some issues, we want to see what you did to get around those issues and go through those roadblocks and get that solution. What did you research? But right now, for those of you who are willing to get out of your comfort zone, one of the best things to do, especially on LinkedIn, while everybody's showcasing their skills and projects, how do you stand out? Video, right? If you can get out of your comfort zone and showcase this through video and show how you built this project and how you solved the problem, that'll give you more confidence to be able to teach and give you confidence to work with external customers as well. Companies want to see if they're seeing you, if you're not even in tech yet, and they seeing you display a confidence of showing how you deploy services across AWS or Microsoft or Google, and you doing it in a way that makes you look like a subject matter expert, regardless if you're an expert or not. Companies love to see that because you're growing with a simple, quick tutorial, and then build on that tutorial, right? And it's right in the documentation as well. You can ask those, you could type in like, okay, networking with EC2, or connecting services with EC2, or connected services with compute engine, whatever. So you can, okay, I built my first server. How do I deploy a website on my server? Okay, I got it. I did that. How do I connect with other services in there? Okay, I did that. How do I build my network where I can allow certain traffic? And then how can I build policies for security's sake where I can deny certain people from certain IP addresses, or I can allow certain people to be able to access my resources? You start thinking away, then you start thinking the way businesses and organizations are thinking.
Right. Yeah. Funny that you said that. I remember I brought up earlier about using a SIM like Microsoft Sentinel, and then I have like an AWS account as well as like Azure account. And I was like, I was trying to replicate stuff I've seen at work. I was like, man, I want to send these cloud trail logs to Sentinel. How do I do that? And so I just researched it, and I found out how to just send the cloud trail logs into Sentinel, and it actually wasn't too hard. So it was like you said, researching and just not being afraid to mess something up. There's a lot of times we didn't mess something up trying to set something up, but I mean, at the end of the day, you're learning.
Yeah, listen, and I promise you, I promise y'all, no nuclear weapon is gonna go off if you break something or press that button. I promise you. If you, because some people are like, "Ah, I don't want to do that because I don't want to break." This is how we learn. Tech is not about knowing the answer; it's about finding the answer. And most of the time, the experience comes from the failure, right? Because if you failed, if you broke something, and or if you know, yeah, if you broke something within your infrastructure, and you're trying to figure out how to fix it, that's an experience that you're not gonna forget. So if somebody else going down that same road, even if you got a job and you're the rookie there, if somebody else doing that, you can say, "Oh, whoa, whoa, hey, hey, don't do that because last time I did that, this is what happened." And that person may not know, and they be like, "Oh man, what I'm saying? Thank you, Henry. Oh man, let me tell y'all what Henry just stopped this from doing. And if I'd have did it, it would have cost us blah blah blah." But because Henry went through this already, even on his own, he was able to have that experience. Remember that exposure equals experience. People have experience in the industry because they've been exposed to many things, right? The experience don't come from, oh, I read this and let me just remember it. That shows you what it's supposed to do. The experience comes from understanding what to do when it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. So just remember that if y'all don't remember anything. All right. So we talked about essential skills, certifications. We talked about the learning pathways and resources people can do, and even practical experience and projects. And I'll just, really hone in more on projects. There's plenty of projects that are out there that you can use to build your skills. I mean, you got GitHub, right? You got Discord, you got Slack. It's so many. You got people that's on LinkedIn doing projects where you can literally go and create your own, you know, um, be creative and create your own strategy in deploying those projects. So a lot of you all are seeing projects out there and being scared to try them out. But my focus would be, hey, give me the hardest thing so I can just, figure out how to solve it. And if I don't figure out, at least I made it through halfway where I've learned something, right? And I understand, okay, maybe I got to be a little bit more stronger with networking before, I complete this whole thing. So let me do some more researching and go into this networking course, a little short course. Oh, I got it. I understand what went wrong now. Let me go out and do this and complete it. So there's plenty sites that you can do. And is it typically the same for cybersecurity as far as the sites for projects that people go on?
Yeah, just take a little bit of research
Yep.
and knowing what they want to do and what they want to accomplish out of it. So that's why, like, yeah, research is king, and that's the biggest thing that I tell people now, even before a consult. So I'm like, I'll tell them in the thing, hey, please prepare questions so you can get the most out of this, or research, because that makes it more beneficial on your time, that I'm not having to spend time of showing you all these different things you can do, versus if you got specific things that you want me to answer and help you with, that's even better for you, versus like having to spend 15-20 minutes on some stuff that you probably could have learned from just watching one of my videos.
No, man, like it's all about research, all about trying it, because you can find it, but you got to try it. But cloud documentation about quick tutorials of spinning something simple up. Like, hey, I want to learn more about S3. They got quick tutorials on how to create your first bucket and upload an object to S3. The only thing that's stopping you from doing it is actually the execution. And sometimes it's the belief in your mind where you don't even feel like you're good enough to even start. But we'll talk about that. So let's talk about more about networking and community engagement. What are some communities that you see that's been thriving to really help folks really uh, churn out a career in cybersecurity and get started?
I would say myself, I would say Black Girls Hack. I
Mm.
would say it's a couple others, and they're probably like on the tip of my tongue that I'm not really like thinking about. If anybody in the comments could think of something, I'll probably say yeah to them. Um Something cyber, I forgot his name, but also you got Gerald Odger over there, Simply Cyber, him. TCM has some stuff, and there's some other people like on YouTube. Josh Matacor's like community has been huge. They're probably helping people get into cybersecurity as well. We got the level career folks, the course career folks, different people that are on social media. Beast has been helping people get into GovTech and probably some security roles. So
Yep.
there are a lot of people out there, and if I miss you, please forgive me. It's just a lot of people doing their different things to contribute to the space now. So I definitely don't have a long list of like everybody. Oh, my guy, Day Cyber Walks, Day Spring is doing his thing.
Oh yeah,
Tech,
yeah. Dang.
they're definitely doing their communities, and they've been helping people get in. So definitely shout out to them.
Yeah, man. It's plenty of folks to gravitate towards out there. I mean, you got so many tech study Slack out there. You got AWS has their own communities. Microsoft and Google does as well. Um, man, we have a community, Cloud Career Accelerator. We have um, Tech is a New Black community. Um, the Black IT Network community on Facebook.
Yeah, I forgot about them. Shout out to them. Yes,
Yeah, you got different, especially if you're military, you got different military communities as well.
mhm.
So it's no reason for you not to join the community. You got cozy cloud community. Um, a lot of people doing a lot of things. So if you need to just really gravitate towards people that you like, just do the research. Do cloud communities on Slack, cloud communities on Discord, cloud communities on Facebook, cloud communities on LinkedIn. and it's a bunch. And the only thing, once again, it doesn't do you any good if you don't uh, execute, and start networking.
I
Right?
forgot somebody, man. I don't know how he was on the tip of my tongue. I don't know how I forgot him, but my guy, Kenneth Ellington over there, Ellington Cyber Academy.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Kenneth, shout out to Kenneth.
He got the thing too.
Kenneth is where? Is he in like Tennessee?
He in
Where he-
Dallas too.
In Dallas. Oh, okay. So all in Dallas. Okay. So yeah, Dallas is a huge tech hub, y'all. So if you didn't know,
Mix the
um,
cloud.
so really, you got so many communities, you got so many meetups, you got so many virtual events, you got so many in-person events that the only thing you need to do is choose where you're going to go to. And if you're going to them, whether it's virtual, going into a Slack, going into, let's say an AWS Summit, or going into just some local tech meetup, you need to start shaking hands and introducing yourself and telling people what you do, because nobody is going to gravitate towards you if you're sitting in the corner on your phone. Because you know what we do when we buy so we like, nah, get out there, shake hands. Hey, my name is Broadus. Hey, I just started cloud computing, but I've been working on a lot of things, this, that, and the other. And that person goes, oh, cool. And that's how y'all build a relationship. And you never know, that person could be responsible, or those people could be responsible for you landing your first role because you went out there and shook hands, introduce yourself, and that's called marketing. So
Mhm.
that's all it takes. It's just a conversation for
Yeah.
y'all, man.
Apply to ask them about like any tips for going to Mix the Cloud. And I'll save my comments on this thing. But for like you said, for typical conferences or something like that, it's like definitely go there with a mission, meet different people, and
Absolutely.
talk to them about what they do, where they work at, or what could you bring to the table. So it's just not like a one-sided conversation. And so that's what I like to do when I'm at like conferences or something like that. Like I did that at like Afrotech, and then last year I got a chance to attend Splunk Conf and some other type of networking events. So that's definitely what you want to do. And if you can afford it, go to those events where vendors and hiring managers may be at those different conferences, wherever they may be. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you just got to put some money away to invest in like maybe the one conference you want to go to, make it worth your while.
Absolutely. Because it's going to be, number one, if you go to those big conferences, it's going to be memories, right? And you're going to be excited. So, like, you got to understand, you got to put yourself in position to be in the spaces that people are doing what you want to do, are going, right?
Mhm.
So, and this is the easiest thing you can do. Let's say if you saved up your money and you say, I'm going to AWS reInvent this year, the easiest thing you can do, if you got people that you follow, how about you hit them up on LinkedIn and say, hey, Henry, hey, I'm gonna be out there and reInvent, man. I follow you, man. This is what I do. I've been following your content for a while. I would love to meet up with you. And Henry might hit you back like, hey, man, I'm gonna be at the such and such booth at 3 o'clock, between 3 and 5. So come through, link up there. Guess what? Now you meeting Henry, and if you're cool enough, y'all might be able to form a relationship where this could be a starting point of you being able to network with somebody that can really help you get the job you want to be get put in position, and to make the money that you want as well. Always start hitting people up before the conference, because it gets a little hectic if you're hitting them up at the conference. You might have some people reply, but when you dare, and we just going. We walking everywhere. We had different parties, different events, networking events, etc. So just make sure you go ahead and plan that. Hit everybody you want to hit up, that you want to connect with before, so you can go ahead and get that time on their books and be prepared for it. That's what I would say, for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely. That's always working. That's some of the ways how I've gotten some of the guests that's been on the show. Like I got to meet them in person, and that trumps every other form of networking you can do, no matter what. In person is like reign supreme.
Yep, because it's personal, and you get to know that person, see that person, catch the aura of them, right? I mean, we understand, somebody come up to us, their aura just not right. You like, I mean, they all right, but I probably ain't gonna, deal with them anymore. But if they come genuine and they're a very good person, that could just lead to hey, that guy's cool. Hey, you want to hang with us tonight? And next thing you know, you just hang with people that you aspire to be like anyway, and you in the circle. And now all it takes is for you to just understand what they did to get to where they at, and And if you're surrounding yourself, if you're the 10th person of nine of a 10-person group that's not doing, something in tech and making the money, eventually you will be, because they're going to teach you how to. All right.
Right.
So job search and application strategies. When you learn everything that you need to learn for the role, and I would say, for me, I wouldn't strive to learn 100% of a role, because number one, if you happen to do that and you actually get the role, then you got to look at where is growth going to be for you in the role. If you know everything and you could do everything in a role, you know, where's the growth opportunities for you? So eventually, if you get a job, you're going to be bored and you're just going to leave. So I would say, even if you got 50% of the skills, go ahead and apply to the job. So one thing's for sure, I always say this, is you shouldn't be using, for me, a one trick pony resume strategy to apply to a bunch of different types of jobs. So, because if you have projects, and let's say if you labeled 4 projects on there that has nothing to do with this role, and you submit it
Mm.
in because you feel like, okay, well, I've done some work. They can see I've done some work. Well, our automated tracking system or application tracking system, or even a recruiter, they give you what, 9 seconds, I believe, to look at a resume. Is it
Um,
9?
it'll categorize it, and then if depending on how they got it set up, if the recruiters got like not too many, they'll go through them,
Yeah,
and then they'll definitely skim them within like 6, 7 seconds, and they're like, this ain't it, this ain't it. So
yeah.
yeah, about 6, 7 seconds.
6, 7 seconds. So if you don't have the projects on there that align with the skills and tools and services that they want you to have experience with, you're not even going to make it past the recruiter. I'm telling you that now. So number one, make sure your resume is tailored towards the role that you are applying to. Otherwise, you're going to get the rejection letter immediately as soon as you apply, most likely. And you'll be like, it's going to mess with your anxiety. It's going to mess with your motivation. You're going to look and be like, I'm not good enough. See, they rejected me the whole time. Your strategy was off. We see this time after time after time. And if you're applying to a role, um, if you're using any platform like Hunter or Apprentice or whatever the case may be to keep track of the roles you apply to, make sure, if you're going on LinkedIn, make sure you actually go to the site to apply to the roles, instead of doing the easy apply on LinkedIn, and to see if you can find the recruiter for that role. Most of the times on the actual page of the role, they could have a recruiter that you could connect with. But if not, I would just go to the company and see if I could find a recruiter, and I will reach out to the recruiter to let them know I applied to the role. I would love, just how you should position it. If I was doing it, hey, Henry, my name is Broadus. I just applied to the site reliability role. Hey, I was wondering if you had 5 minutes of your time, if I can, jump on a call with you or just chat with you to learn more about the culture and about the organization and how you came to work there, because I'm super excited to learn more about XYZ company and the role itself. And that way you may get a, hey, yeah, I'll definitely talk to you, because recruiters typically is sales. They want to get the best people in their pipeline. And if they see that you're a great candidate, whether you're a great candidate for this role or not, they want to keep you in the pipeline for other roles. So if you position it where you want to learn more about the role, more about the company, and hey, how did you come to work at XYZ company, Henry? And Henry might say, okay, yay, I'll give you 5 minutes to chat. And that conversation can turn into, hey, we're gonna move you to the next round, or let's set up an official interview to be able to, see more, about what you can do, and then we can move you to the next round. It's all about relationship building. And you're in sales as well. So just remember that when you are out there applying for roles, you are selling your services. So how you market yourself and how you build relationships determines where you're gonna go as far as landing the role, how you can get the job, etc., and determines the type of bag you can get with the company as well. So you're not a employee looking for a job. You're an actual business looking to sell your services to the best client. So while you're building your skills, you're actually building your products and services. And then if you don't put yourself out there on LinkedIn and network, you're not marketing yourself properly. So don't spend all your money building your product and don't put no money into marketing because you're not going to get any customers. And your whole goal is to get customers. So that's what I would say. Anything
Right.
from you, Henry?
Nah, I'm gonna stand with everything that you said. I want to see if we could get to some whatever questions people may have that we can try to answer quick. May do kind of like lightning around like 60 seconds or less or something.
Yeah, yeah. Let me see. Hold on. See, we got questions coming in. Let me check Instagram as well. Keep forgetting about y'all on Instagram. Yeah, expose your experience, business knowledge. Okay, so we just got statements on there. Last thing I want to talk about with y'all is really overcoming challenges in imposter syndrome. And this is what I would say on this. Look, the imposter syndrome, while it's common, it's a lie. It's going to tell you that you're not good enough. It's going to tell you that you can't do this. It's going to tell you that you're going to fail when you get a job. It's going to tell you that you can't even do the job. And even when you in the job, it's going to tell you that you're going to get fired. Listen to none of that. Do it scared. While one of y'all, some of y'all right now is scared to even take the first step to learn this because you think you can't even learn it. That's just fear lying to you, stopping you from taking the first step. You need to say, regardless of what my brain is telling me, I'm gonna go ahead and learn it anyway. And imposter syndrome really never goes away. You just learn how to stronghold it and go through it anyway. And with that, you'll be able to go through anything because what you're gonna realize is this is the last thing I'm gonna say. What you're gonna realize is when you get into a role, you're gonna realize everybody deals with it from you to the CEO. Even the CEO comes on, hands-on meetings and probably be like, "Today is the day they're gonna realize I know nothing about the company. Like I'm clueless. I don't know." And the whole time you know what you know, but you just feel like you're not good enough to be in the position. And I've seen some people bow out of tech even after landing a role because the imposter syndrome got to them so much where they just say, I'm gonna go back and shrink to what I used to do because that's what I'm comfortable doing. And you have to understand this is a lifelong learning journey and you're going to always be uncomfortable. And the goal is to be uncomfortable because if you are uncomfortable, you're growing and you're learning. The day that you are comfortable is the day that you're not learning and you're not growing. I promise you. So,
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think I made a video about that. I made videos on like sometimes we talked about earlier, like you get into the job and probably making people nervous because you're ambitious. But I was like, I say you'll get to a job sometimes and wonder like how these people even got the job. You're like, the only thing that
yo,
separates you from them is timing. They got in at a better time than you. I promise you, you'll see that. Or there's times like even like most jobs when you get to a certain level, they'll of course expect you to kind of not need as much hand holding, but there's still going to be some type of learning curve when you get to a new environment.
yep,
There might be some different things. So you may kind of doubt yourself or whatever. But like he said, it's not real. You figure out most people don't know things. The biggest of the biggest companies, you'll be surprised on what happens on the actual inner workings. Like you just seen United Healthcare pretty much almost lose a $1 billion off a simple mistake.
that's crazy.
And
That's
so
crazy.
that's why I tell y'all, like, don't give up. Like, this is things that rookies would know to do on their first day. So, like, keep on getting at it. Like, if they can mess up, like, do not feel bad. Like, you haven't caused $1 billion mistake yet, but they have.
Yo, for real. And just like you said, I've seen people that come in and say, "Hey, man, let me tell you what they doing here, man. Like this is basic stuff. They don't even know to do this and that. They don't even know to rotate their keys, man.
Yeah.
They don't even know to, and it's
Yeah.
crazy.
I'm a standard practice.
Yeah,
And not having certain ports opened up, that's going to, be a vulnerability to you. Like, yeah, it happens. You know what I'm saying? It's because everybody's so busy doing so much work. And then that's why you have the roles in the GRC space that are so important because they come in there and say, okay, this ain't what this is supposed to be. Why is this happening? So that's
yep,
why everybody's job is important. Like no different jobs. Like to me, it's like football. It's like everybody got they role to play on the team. And if this center blocked this guy right here and these two guys double team and this running back hit this hole, it's gonna be touchdown. That's how you gotta look at it.
absolutely. So We're gonna go to the questions real quick. We see something that was popping in. Let me see. Jasmine said, I heard you say CloudQuest is a free practice resource for AWS. What are some Azure practice resources? So it's Microsoft.learn. I believe it's Microsoft.learn. They have everything you can do on Microsoft, from their AI or analytics stuff to their cloud engineering to their Kubernetes to all the certifications, even certification prep. So check out Microsoft.learn. And I think for Google, I can't remember an actual site. It used to be Quick Labs for Google stuff, but I think Google has created their cloud digital, no, Google digital training, something like that. I'll put the link in the comments for you, Jasmine, for everyone to be able to check that out as well. All right, let's see. So Michael said, should we be changing our LinkedIn headline to roles we are applying for? Any thoughts on this? Any thoughts in-
So short answer is yes, and then it could be a little finesse with adding certain like skills or tools that you see in the job description that you may have. You can add those in the headlines as well, so you could be more searchable, as well as making sure those skills are prevalent in your skills section and maybe either your project section or tasks that you did at your job. So pretty much anything you know how to do that you know recruiters are looking for, have it on your LinkedIn somewhere so you can be getting hit up by recruiters for jobs.
Absolutely. I'll say my opinion is yes. And I'll say look at it like this. The easiest way to transition someone into a role is if they're already showing that they can do it. All right. So number one, you want to be searchable and you want to show up in keyword search for the jobs that recruiters may be looking to fill. But also it gets you in the mindset of, hey, if you work at a banker and you work at a bank and you're a banker, your mindset should be going to, I'm not really a banker anymore. Yes, I go to work every day as a banker, but I'm a cloud engineer. These are the things that I can do, and these are the things that I'm doing, because you're subconsciously shifting yourself into thinking and acting as a cloud engineer. So you're going to do the things that cloud engineers do. So it makes it an easy transition for you when you get into a role. Your mindset is already shifted and your mind is already made up. That's what I say. Um,
That I got time like for like one more question, then I got a jet.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Okay, we got Derek said, "What's the best way to get started in a knock?" That's for you, big dog.
Honestly, it doesn't actually take that much to get started in a knock. If you research like probably like 5 to 10 roles, they may have a lot of overlap in the job descriptions. Just knowing some basic networking stuff, know some things maybe about some firewalls, knowing like things like the OSI model, knowing about incident management, how to use a ticketing system. There are different things, different knocks are different, but for the most part, they are fairly entry level. So if you get a certification like a CCNA or a Network Plus, and know just the fundamentals of like networking, I think you could probably find your way into getting one of those roles for sure. Maybe even learn some scripting or something, and I think you'll be fine. Because in my knock role, like most knock roles, it's not a lot you doing. You'll get trained. You see how to do these different things on the network. You have access to different things, but the most part, you won't be like really implementing any changes or anything like that. So. It's not super hard. I would say research it. There are some guys I've seen on YouTube that worked in the knock that they got their start there, and I'll probably like look that up too, like data life of a knock analyst, and see if you like it.
Awesome, man. Hey, listen, big dog. I appreciate you coming on, sharing some gems to these people, dropping the gems and helping them reach their goals, man. Y'all put the HD in the chat for the boy Henry Davis. He got to run, and hey, man, I just appreciate you showing love to the live, man. And people love these gems that you drop all the time. And make sure you go to the Techual Talk podcast. It's on YouTube and on the podcast Apple. So hey,
Yeah.
and TikTok as well.
If they do the textualtalk.com, it'll show them like everywhere the podcast is on any streaming platform, or they want to listen to it on YouTube, or if you guys want to support the show, join the Patreon. It's like one of the easiest ways you can support the show so we can keep on doing some big things. And go back and rewatch the episode that I did with Broadus, man. I think you'll thoroughly enjoy it. It's probably the most. You probably seen him on different platforms, but I'm just tell you it's the best one he's did with a podcast is with me. So
Yeah.
go check that out.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you once again, big dog. I'll go ahead and see them off and hey man, have a great rest of your night, big dog.
All right, man. Y'all take
All
it
right.
easy.
All right. So as we talked about with with Henry, hey, listen, whatever someone's telling you right now, right? You can't do it. You got to do this. You got to go to college. You have to spend years and you got to have years of experience. All of that is false. Are you looking at somebody who didn't go to college, that didn't have to have years of experience, and I'm a well-paid person that works in cloud? So me, Henry, and other folks like us, we're not walking around with a bubble around us that say, "Hey, you can't do this. You can absolutely do this." We're giving you the resources, the tools, the gems to do this right now. Okay, you have to change your mindset. You have to say, "Hey, I'm deciding today that this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to change my life doing it." I'm gonna tell you now. When I was making $42,000 at the bank at BB&T, precisely when I got my first offer in tech, I stared at it for about almost 24 hours on the phone. I kept looking at it because I didn't believe that this was the type of money that I was about to make, and the hard work that I did over the last 10 months paid off. That's a feeling that a lot of you are on the cusp of right now. And some of you already learned what you needed to learn, and you're applying yourself and you're getting rejected. Hey, it's okay. The rejections are going to come, right? It's about how hard you can get hit and keep going, because the yes is right around the corner. Don't be like some people who get the rejections and just say, this is not for me. I'm going to quit after putting in all that work. You didn't do all of that work for nothing. You got a family, you have a partner, you got dreams that you need to accomplish. And this can help you accomplish it. For those who haven't started yet, just start. Take the first step to learn what is cloud computing, right? How does it impact organizations around the world? See if you can understand that, and then just keep going. And then look at some cloud roles to say, okay, what did I need to be able to land these roles? That's what you're going to be able uh, to help you learn, or help you understand what to learn, and then get the resources out to learn. There's plenty of resources out here for you to learn. All right. So with that being said, too, so I'm playing music, y'all. I'm sorry if y'all heard that. I want to invite you to our community, the levelupintech.com/cloud hyphen career hyphen accelerator. We give you a free course, Bang course. What is cloud computing? How much can you make in this industry? What are some of the hot roles that are out there? How can you fast track to landing these roles? We give you a project. We actually have something new that we just announced today. So we got OTJ Thursday. So on the job Thursday, where every other Thursday, we're going to come in with the incident response troubleshooting challenge, where we're doing a live challenge. We invite all of y'all to come in, help us solve this issue. And it gets people comfortable, and especially those who are already learning, get you comfortable with learning how to troubleshoot in real world on the job environments, right? So we're going to have something that's broken, a customer can't access a certain site, etc. And we're going to work through it together, show you a framework that you can use when you're troubleshooting. And we're going to do this together. You're all going to be able to, put in your recommendations, what we should do. This is an urgent matter. We got some rules and regulations for it, so check it out. But make sure you check out this community. It's fire, it's growing by the day. We just want to help you become successful. All right. So look, I'm glad everyone showed up to this live. I appreciate you, Henry, for showing up. Let's keep being awesome. Let's keep leveling up for 2024. I'm pretty sure if you continue your daily activities, let me just state this before I leave. This is something that I put in on social media today. You have you, and then you have where we at success. All right. Now the difference between the distance of where you are today and where you want to be are your daily activities. Your daily activities and what you do today determines where you're going to be at next year, the year after that, the year after that. Just like, think about it like, if you want to be in shape, what you eat and what you do in workouts is going to determine how well you're going to be in shape. If you wake up every day and you eat chips and ice cream and junk and McDonald's and all of that, that's going to determine what your body is going to be in the next year. You may be still in okay health or you may not be. Think of your career as that as well. Your daily activities determines where you're going to be next year. All right. So if you want a six-figure role, then we need to start doing the activities that can help us land it. And nobody's coming to do the work for you. I promise you. So you need to decide today if this is what you want to do, and you need to decide that you're going to do it every day until you be successful. And just know that this is a lifelong learning journey. Okay. And that's the best thing I can tell you. It's going to be learning forever if you decide to stay in this, and you're going to be uncomfortable in most times, but it's all about doing this good. All right. So with that being said, I love y'all. Thank you for joining this live. Tech yourself. We're going to have another live soon. I got Q&A coming on Saturday as well, but I appreciate y'all. Let's keep leveling up, and I'll see y'all later.